Hey guys, we're going to be shaving off about a week and a half worth of growth. I'm going to be using the Henson medium razor. This is the plus plus. We're going to put one of my favorite blades in it, a Nacet. I find this just a sharp cutter all the way around in so many different razors. This one hasn't been used yet. We're also going to be using the Zenith B35 boar brush. It's the custom handle that I've been using lately from the wetshaving subreddit. We had a custom color and a custom engraving job done. And then for the soap, I am the beneficiary of some kindness online. A generous person sent me a smush. It's what we call a small amount, kind of smushed flat. And then sometimes it's in wax paper. Sometimes you put it in a little Ziploc bag. And instead of a sample container that's kind of thick, you know, you can, and this is something you can actually mail through the normal postal service. It's so flat, it doesn't weigh very much. And so you can share your soap with somebody, and that's enough for a shave. This is the Zenith brush that I mentioned. We call it the MOAR BOAR. And it's, I don't think we're quite to 30 shaves yet, but it's not too far away from that. It might be at 28 or some 29, I think. Now, this person knows how to send a smush. This is about as good as you're going to get. It's not a Ziploc bag, but it's been heat sealed. So he's obviously got some kind of sealer, and he did put it, of course, in paper. You can just put a smush in wax paper and send it through the mail. You don't have to, you know, heat seal it. But heat sealing, of course, in plastic here is going to keep that scent. I have had scents arrive that were very faint. I get that leather note. I don't get that green pepper note that people are saying quite so much about this one. It has received Noble Otter batters up. It has received some very bad reviews with people just saying all that they're able to get in the shave. And the green pepper note is there, and it's so strong as a part of the profile that they just aren't able to really get past it. So I will unfold this guy. Boy, this was even almost glued together or something. Man, this guy knows how to do it. I would mention his name, his username, but I don't remember it offhand. I'll put it in the description. So, we've got a little smear right there, and you can use your thumbnail to kind of get it up. If you have a 1/4 teaspoon, sometimes you'll actually get more than you need with a sample like this. And so if you fill up a 1/4 teaspoon with it, then that's usually a good amount that's going to give you plenty of lather for your shave. And then that might help you get 2 uses out of a sample instead of just using it all at once. Yeah, I mean, I can kind of see a little bit as I'm scraping here with my thumbnail. I can kind of see that green pepper note in there, but it's really easy for me to look past because it's not super evident. I did get COVID and I lost my sense of smell for several months. And I think there is a range of smells that I am not smelling anymore. Coffee doesn't fill the house like it used to for me when I'm brewing coffee. I also may just be getting old, right? So then we will take the sample, put it in the bottom of a lather bowl. Obviously, if you're a face latherer, normally you have to switch to being a bowl latherer temporarily to use a smush kind of sample. And Noble Otter has a terrific soap base. It's one of the top ones that I always mention and when I'm talking about good bases like Barrister and Man and declaration grooming and mammoth and sterling and those kind of things. So I'm confident this is going to give me a great lather. It was just a scent. I was definitely seeing some of this come up on the used market. But to me, and those aldehydes, that's a scent that I really enjoy in Strangelove by Dr. Johns, in one of the eggs, West Egg or East Egg, West Egg, I think, that came from, I think, Storybook or something like that. It was part of that Great Gatsby series that our group did a few years ago. So I did wash my face with a little bit of sterling hand soap, bath soap, bath bar, that kind of thing. All right, so let's just go at it here. This is a little different than my shaves have been in the last couple months because I've been using sterling because of how much help sterling was in getting us our custom brushes. Matter of fact, I've been using only sterling. Because of that, it turns out this brush has only used sterling soaps in its lifetime. For the other notes that are officially in the profile here, you can check out the description of the video. I did not look at the description lately, and so I don't remember a lot of them. I know there's some aldehydes. I know that, there were some like leathery, woody, kind of notes. And leathery is definitely there was a note right in there that just nailed the leatheriness of a good baseball glove. I'm not getting that green pepper. So right now we are mixing up the lather, and the only water we've added has been what was resident in the brush. I shook out most of the water and came at it with just a lightly wet brush, and so I think we're going to have way more lather than we need. Yeah, again, I do understand what people are saying with that green pepper, but I have to look for it. I would not at a blind sampling of this, if I didn't know about the green pepper note reputation of this soap, I would not be bringing that out to you. It's just, now maybe it'll come out later as we keep working the lather, as maybe some of those introductory type scents, notes fade off. Every once in a while you'll have a soap that does change over the lifetime of it because some of those bright shiny notes in the very beginning will fade off and leave something else remaining that was kind of hidden before. Haven't used Noble Otter in a while. They make some really good scents. I love Lone Star, Texas, Plunder. Oh, Plunder is so good. I go for a very wet lather while still staying lightly creamy. That's my goal. If you like a highly creamy lather that is more on the drier side, then you're going to want to stop adding water sooner than I do. We've got plenty of this kind of lather here, and it looks Good. Let's just go with that. I could probably add a little bit more water to it, but with all this growth that I have on my face, I like to not quite go as wet, as watery as I usually do. Give my face one more splash of water. As I was rinsing my face, I looked at that big old bowl full of lather and I said, hey, I just grabbed a big old handful of it and used it to kind of wash my face. Why not? I've got plenty. All right. So this boar brush has been soaking for plenty of time to get as soft as he's going to get. His tips are quite soft. No, a very light scrub, but nothing that I would call scrubby or scritchy. You know, that kind of thing. It's very comfortable. That green pepper note is starting to be a little bit more recognizable. But honestly, the aldehydes and the leather are so much more dominant. It's very easy to keep my mind in a place where I'm thoroughly enjoying the kind of the baseball nature, the leathery parts of this scent. You can see the look here. If you're used to watching my channel, it's not going to be as white usually. And that's because I didn't add quite as much water with this mix. That'll be just fine for this first pass. And I might add some water after it. Another trademark that I could add more water if I wanted to, and I often should, is this amount of lather gathering around my goatee. And look at the wrinkles. See, that could be a lot more smoothed out. It does differ per soap base, but this could definitely take more water. And that's, of course, my preference, not something that you need to assume is universal, right? Okay, the Nacet is in the Henson. Again, because I've used this to shave off weeks worth of growth before, today is a little bit longer than that. I'm not expecting it to get me super close the first pass. Second pass will definitely have to do more work. A little bit of tugginess, of course. It's possible that another razor that has a smaller blade angle would give me less tugginess. But I'm not going to fault the razor for that, since I am using it to shave off so much growth. I have very slick lathers, and so I didn't really experience as much of a problem with the drag on the razor. You might think that this razor could drag a lot because that whole face plane right there is touching your skin. And if you like your lathers a little drier, then you could experience some drag with this razor, I think. Oh yeah, see over here, I'm feeling the drag because I don't have that residual slickness because the lather's not as wet. All right, we will leave the rest for the future passes to take care of. That was fairly comfortable, except a little bit of tugging. And a rinse. And yeah, let's add some more water. Yeah, if I would have divided that smush in two, I probably could have gotten 2 shaves out of it. But I think this usage here is enough to make me want to go ahead and find a tub of this. I'm sure I can find some on the used market. Oh, and see, that lather looks even better. You got more sheen, which is just an optional benefit, but this is a creamier looking lather. I tried to save that, but I couldn't. Oh yeah, that's nice. The first pass did have a few places on my face that were shaved nicely. Second pass is going to take care of that pretty easily. Yeah, you know, somebody remarked about the Batters Up that it smelled like an old pair of leather gloves. But honestly, I think that aldehyde almost makes it have a newness to it. Like a new car smell, you know? Like a brand new leather baseball glove from the store. I like it. I like it a lot. And see, now we've got a smooth shave. So the second pass did pick up the slack easily. Yet another example where even if you go several days without shaving, you don't necessarily have to do like what some people say and purchase some kind of open comb razor to be able to get that length. Now there are people with denser beards than me, obviously, but I think that I still stand by that. And a little water splash. And now the third pass. This is just a pickup pass where we are fine tuning. Getting any strays. So the Henson here seems to work very well with the Nacet blade. I haven't really found any blades that the Henson has a problem with. Right before this shave, I made a video that will probably be publicized, published quicker than this actual shave, in which I talk about how the Henson is reputed to be a good razor for beginners, and it does help you to lock into exactly the blade angle that they have set for you because of the flat face of the razor. But I was wondering why I was not getting as smooth of a feel in terms of the blade on my face, not in terms of results, but of my closeness, but in terms of the way I would move the blade across my face, and I would just feel the edge more so than razors like a vintage Gillette Tech or a Fatip I've got right here as well. And I thought about it, and then I looked at the razors and discovered that while the Henson may kind of lock you into a 30-degree handle angle, it seems to me that the way it curves the blade before it gets to the end here in relation to what your skin is looks more like the edge of the blade there is at a 40-degree angle or something like that, instead of more like a 30-degree angle or something smaller. And the Tech and the Fatip both had those smaller blade angles, and I think that's why the Henson doesn't feel as smooth as those guys. Oh yeah, I'm enjoying the scent of this soap. I am. Nice. Get a good rinse now. By the end of the shave, we have used 19 milliliters of water. We have shaved with 3 passes, and it looks like I easily have another 4 or 5 passes left in the bowl. So I could have easily split that sample up into multiple shaves, and I kind of feel bad about that, but I also kind of don't, because I know I'm gonna find this soap and buy it. I don't know that I necessarily might want the splash, you know, or an aftershave product with it. I might, but I may let that be something that if I happen to stumble across a good deal, then maybe I'll buy it. All right, I am not gonna put, fortuitously, I have the Diamond Balm from Barrister and Mann, and I'm gonna be putting that on, but I'm about to take a shower, so I am gonna wait until after that. How much soap did I use? It was more than half a teaspoon. I mean, more than quarter teaspoon. So maybe 3/4 of a teaspoon, perhaps. Plenty to do the job. And in a way, it might have been good to use the whole sample because it enabled me to get a better sense of the smell of the soap. And that was the point after all. Oh yeah, oh. I really like that. I don't have to work hard at all to put my mind in a place where I'm getting a little bit of woodiness, but mostly that leatheriness, almost like a brand spanking new leather baseball glove that like you're filled with opportunity and the future, and you can't wait to season it up a little bit and then start using it. You know, that's just kind of the vibe I'm getting here. Yeah, I like it. Green pepper, sure, I'm not getting that very much, and but I can see why people are. I love it. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves. I think that's all we have to say now about this shave. It's a good one. The Henson did well with the Nacet. I think that's it. Take care now. Good night.